Welcome to this explainer. Teachers spend literally countless hours grading exams after the fact, but what if the absolute most crucial assessment actually happens in real time, right in the middle of a lesson? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We are opening up the Educator's Toolkit, specifically looking through the lens of the PeerCollab initiative, which is this really brilliant framework dedicated to peer assessment and student success. We're going to look directly at how we gather information for assessment. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But the nuances here are genuinely game-changing for your daily teaching practice.
So take a look at this question. Are your classroom questions actually measuring learning? It's a huge question to ask ourselves. Think about that for a second. In a standard classroom, it is so easy to fall into the trap of asking dead-end questions. You know the ones. You ask a question and get that classic pin-drop silence in return. Or maybe questions that just prompt a simple yes or no. Honestly, a lot of the time we're just asking questions to confirm if a student is awake, rather than evaluating if they've actually absorbed the material. Today we're challenging that traditional model.
Section 1. Continuous Formative Assessment, the why behind the toolkit. When we look at this approach, one specific word is absolutely critical, and that word is throughout. The source material explicitly states, information gathering is crucial for formative assessment and should be carried out throughout the teaching process. Formative assessment is not the final exam. It's not that big, scary test at the end of the semester. It is a continuous, daily, sometimes minute-by-minute process. It's a pulse check. By gathering information continuously throughout the process, you can pivot. You can adjust your teaching strategies on the fly and meet your students exactly where they are. Okay, so the crucial point is this. If we're gathering information continuously, the primary tools we use, our classroom questions, well, they've got to be sharp. They are amazing tools for measuring progress, but only if they focus on encouraging critical and higher-level thinking. We really have to move past basic recall. We want to prompt analysis, evaluation, creation. We want to literally see the gears turning in their heads in real time. So if a question doesn't make a student pause and connect two different ideas, we might need to upgrade that question.
Section 2. Designing for Evidence, the dual purpose of activities. Every great educator performs this really delicate balancing act. On one hand, you're teaching the content. That's the baseline, right? But on the other hand, you have to collect evidence of learning. The PeerCollab source material makes this incredibly clear. It's absolutely vital to design activities that accomplish both of these goals at the exact same time. Your activity shouldn't just deliver a lecture. It should actively pull evidence back from the students, proving to you that the content is actually landing. Plus, it has to be perfectly aligned with your assessment objectives.
Section 3. Asking the right questions. Frameworks for engagement.
If you want to spark that higher-level thinking we talked about, your questions need to deliberately target specific things. Here is a super snappy rundown of 6 keywords you should absolutely rely on. First, events, literally the what happened. Next up, situations, the where or when it took place. Then we've got choice, which option is best and why. People, who is involved. Reasons, the all-important why behind something, and let's be real, why is the exact question that completely stumps the students who just memorized the textbook without actually understanding a thing. Finally, meanings. How does this work, or how do we interpret it? By consciously cycling through these 6 categories, you're making sure you measure total comprehension, not just rote memorization.
Now, beyond the specific aspects of a question, we also need to consider the cognitive action we're trying to stimulate. Think of it like this. You might ask a time-based question to root a student in the present or the past. But to really push that higher-level thinking, that's when you move to abstract actions, asking them to assess possibility or probability. And then the top tier, conceptual actions, asking them to make a prediction or really tap into their imagination. When you mix those 6 keywords we just went over with these cognitive actions, you basically unlock a limitless vault of incredibly effective classroom questions.
Section 4. Interactive Classroom Techniques. Dynamic information gathering. So how do we actually do this? The PeerCollab material recommends pulling this evidence from the room in real time using 3 highly interactive techniques. Step 1. Hot questions. These are rapid-fire targeted questions you just throw out there to keep the energy high and keep students on their toes. Step 2. Simultaneous response systems. Think mini whiteboards where every single student holds up their answer at the exact same time. Or even digital polling tools. It gives you an instant 100% participation snapshot of the whole room. And step 3, cooperative activities. Having students work together to solve a problem while you circulate. You gather information just by listening to their peer-to-peer discussions. It's dynamic, it's engaging, and for sure, it works.
Section 5. The PeerCollab Initiative. Getting involved.
Now, if this explainer has sparked some ideas for your own classroom, the source material actually gives us a concrete 3-step roadmap to take this further. Step 1, you can access their Peer Assessment Handbook, which dives super deep into all these methodologies. Step 2, apply their ready-to-use templates. Seriously, you do not have to reinvent the wheel here. These pre-built tools will save you hours of weekend lesson planning. And Step 3, implement structured peer assessment directly into your classroom. This empowers your students to evaluate and learn from each other, while you get to step back and collect invaluable formative data.
And keep in mind, these strategies aren't just, isolated ideas floating around. They're part of a much broader, unified initiative across Europe. It's co-funded by the European Union and supported by various university and management partners. PeerCollab's mission is super clear. Together, we strengthen teaching quality and student success. By adopting these structured methods for gathering information, you're actually participating in this massive collaborative effort to elevate educational standards globally.
All right, that brings us to the end of our breakdown. But I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought to chew on. How will you transform your next classroom question into powerful evidence of learning? Are you going to target an abstract concept? Will you try out a simultaneous response system tomorrow morning? The tools are right there in your hands now. Go out there and make every single question count. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.